Now, now?
We're going now.
Meow, 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 now.
Meow, meow. Or meow, meow.
The cat's not even here.
All right. Music coming up. Hello, everyone. Is it too loud now?
No, it's too quiet.
It is too quiet. Well, you were complaining it was too loud before.
Welcome. Everyone, welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma Champ or Lucky Track Dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, as well as news and notes in the world of low-dollar endurance racing, whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip. We're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. And thanks for coming back and listening to a sem-perfect, unitary perfect, protonic, and non-totient and parent episode of our podcast. Well, that was obviously Mental.
It was all me!
What?
It was all me.
Chrissy, virtual high five. There you go.
Nice.
Obscure numbers references for the win.
Yeah.
I would have called this a NSX episode because 1990 is the year the NSX debuted. So
you can call it that too.
Year of the NSX.
Wow.
You could have actually.
We're never
going to
get this episode 2005. Don't worry.
You could have just taken that all out and just said
I
what
just
you want
noticed
because
it. Remember?
you just said it.
I didn't read the notes yet. So hey, if you're not driving a car, don't forget your bingo card. It's been updated recently, which is excellent. Woo. So let's roll it right out to what you working on, Jeff.
I'll start. We are freshly back from the New Jersey Motorsports.
Freshly, really? We're not really freshly.
Well, I mean, like, since we last podcasted.
We still kind of have a not-so-fresh feeling after a race week.
Yeah.
But
I still haven't caught up on sleep. So we are freshly back. So we did all that packing before the race, and I've done all the packing after the race. Did I do the packing after the race? No, I did not. Everything is still in the trailer. They put the clothes
down.
washed.
Really?
Now, everyone driving a car simply did not wreck when they found out that Jeff has not unpacked yet because no one is shocked at all.
I did the laundry. Does that count?
So you unpacked something.
Yeah, I did. I unpacked a decent amount, just not the race gear. The race gear I did, just not the car tools, anything like that. Anyway, okay. I do have an actual car repair that I did. My wife and her 2015 Forester, I believe she has the optional magnet tires, the ones that search out any form of screw or nail.
Some kind of implementation sticky thing.
So you bought those on Tire Rack, so there you go.
I know, but it doesn't matter because it was a puncture straight through, right in the tread. I patched it without even taking the car off. Bam, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. I came in before the mosquitoes even bit me too much. So,
just because you're getting that good at it?
Damn.
They're easy.
Oh, okay.
You put the little thing in, you go.
What do? You
go.
Okay, good.
And then you put the other thingy in, and you go bloop, and you yank it out, and you leave the crap in there, and then you cut it off. That is the technical discussion of how to patch a tire, everybody.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting. There was a Facebook post from former guest Brian Medford, and he said, "I am the last of the dying art of how to patch a tire." Yeah.
Not me. I'm there. I'm with him.
Apparently.
Ooh, I'm going to check off if someone gets a flat tire, assuming that you got a flat tire.
There you go.
Did.
Great.
Anyway, Chrissy, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Checking off your board.
I am checking off my board. So we didn't go to Chris, but I guess he can come back later.
That's okay.
So we cleaned up Monday. We did a whole bunch of cleanup around, and then now I'm bouncing around the South. So I'm on a reconnaissance trip for a project that I'm doing for work. I flew into Atlanta, drove 20 minutes south to a site, then drove all the way across the state to Leeds, and I happened to stop at the gas station that we've been to right outside of Barber, and I took a picture of Barber. I didn't go into Barber just because it's too far away. That road is really long.
And you've seen it.
Right, I've seen it. So then I went on to stay in Tuscaloosa last night. Then I went this morning. I was in Centerville, Alabama. Drove down to Pensacola with a couple stops in between there. and then I will leave Pensacola on Friday morning. So I know what you're dying.
While you're there, you should slip over to Muscle Shoals, Alabama. It is a beautiful part of no, it's gorgeous, and then stop by a place called the Floribama.
Well, I wish you told me that before because I'm done in Alabama and now I'm in Pensacola.
Yes,
it's right next door. The little tail of Alabama.
It's not. Oh, it's not far.
No.
I'm checking off mental tells a story that goes nowhere.
Okay,
that's not a story. That's instructions. You can take that X right back off. If you call bingo, I won't honor it.
Wow.
Well, you'll tell another story that won't go anywhere anyway. But
yes. Wait.
Anyway, so I know you all want to know, what did I get for a rental? What do you think? This is such a pressure-ish. What?
I know.
No, wait. I need
SXT Charger.
No, I need information.
Yes.
Did you rent with Chris's little membership number, or did the company rent it for you?
It is my own little rental number through National with the same, you pick what you want in that row. It's the same company, but it's my own number.
Okay. No, so they did not select for you. You did the reservation.
Mid car.
That's what I need to know.
Mid car, whatever
you
call it. I bet you'll be wrong.
I'm gonna say Hyundai Elantra.
No. Come on, really? Come on.
Nissan Versa.
Nope.
Oh, God.
No.
Again, really?
Like, let's walk.
What do you think?
Joking.
I can't walk.
I'm just thinking the crappiest stuff there is.
Oh, come on. I thought you would guess, actually.
You picked maybe genuinely. So if we're with the midsize, there's no way you got anything from Nissan because it's all a CVT transmission.
No.
So.
But this yes, the National one, they have all kinds of stuff there. You just pay the mid-size price for. I've had everything from a Challenger to a minivan
to smell GM products.
Maxima.
You would smell wrong.
Toyota Camry.
No, but I did pick out a Corolla, and then Chris talked me out of it, so it was fine.
I would have gone with Corolla. Nothing wrong with that.
Well,
I've rented one before. They have no guts. Like, I was leaving every stoplight with my foot on the floor and, like, keeping up with traffic.
I do that with a rental car all the time, no matter how fast.
It was going to be better than a Mitsubishi
period.
Mirage or many Mitsubishi, no Outlander, yeah, crap. Okay, anyway, so
just tell us. We don't know.
Drum roll. Long roof. I got a Mazda 3 hatch. Yay!
So 2018 or 2019?
28. Oh no.
Last model.
18. Yeah. So it's it's what Jeff has. So
no, it's after Jeff's.
No, I got one back.
Okay. All right. So
that's what Sean Rennie used to have. But
okay. So I think it is it's a hatch. I found it in the lane, like where they were pulling in cars. So like it wasn't even part of the places that you normally go to. And I went over there and I was like, can I have this? And so the guy was like, sure. Why? And I'm taking pictures of all the lanes because
whatever. God, this girl is really weird for Mazda.
Here I am. I'm taking pictures of all the rows so I can get Chris's opinion. So as I'm trying to pick out the car. So anyway, I've done about 500 miles in the last 2 days. 500, 450, 4, a lot. So I have had a lot of time to think about all the things that I like and don't like about this car.
I presume it's a slush box.
I'm sorry?
I presume it's a slush box.
It's an auto.
Yeah.
So
nobody rents manuals at a normal rental car counter.
No. So I didn't even expect that. So anyway, I love the stereo. I think it's great. I also really like the leather seats. They're very non-sticky leather. They're very like plushy leather.
Very important in summer in Florida.
Agreed, or anywhere in the South for that matter. So the bad is that it has all kinds of chrome on the steering wheel and the dash that reflects right in your eyes. No, it reflects in your eyes. So like it has this little thing. So in the steering wheel at the very bottom, there's like this little like tray like thing that has all this like chrome on it. So as soon as the sun is pointing down, the sun is pointing right in your face, which I hate. The seating position, I don't think it has a telescoping wheel, and I am very far away from the everything.
The pedals or the wheel?
the wheel.
Even
I feel like
your
I
car
could
has
hold
a telescoping wheel, so like I'd be really surprised if that.
I mean, maybe I didn't look that hard, but I tried. I mean, I did like this, and I didn't like stick my head under it. But I'm not really happy with the seating position. I kind of feel like I could like put like a pizza in front of me, and it'd be fine. And because I drive with a pizza in front of me all the time.
It's a rental car. Why not?
Sure.
He does, and most Gulf gas stations have that Two Brothers Pizza anyway. So yeah.
I've seen
Hunts and two, yeah,
Hunts,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
There's lots of Hunts down here.
And then Chester's Chicken is the other one that's in every gas station.
Oh my gosh, I passed two things of boiled peanuts today, and I missed it to take a picture, and I was going to ask anybody if they wanted any. I also, Jeff, I have to say, I was so excited. I stopped at this really nice gas station for the area that I was in Georgia, and
Clickles.
What?
Clickles. Did you get Clickles?
Ew.
Kool-Aid pickles?
No, I don't even know. That's so gross. I don't like Kool-Aid.
That was a quest Jeff had for an entire Babe rally. It was fine.
All I wanted was a Kool-Aid pickle, a Kool-Aid.
I don't like pickles, and I don't like Kool-Aid. So I don't want Clickle. No. You're funny. He might have broken with laughter. You're close anyway. So, okay. So I was so excited, Jeff. I have to say, I picked up some M&Ms, and I thought they said coffee nut.
Ooh.
They were toffee nut, which is fine, but it wasn't the ones that we've been all over the world for. So my last thing that I don't like about the Mazda is that the beeping lane assist.
Oh, so get rid of that.
I turned it off. So it kept telling every time I tried to change lanes. So I would indicate that I'm going to change lanes, and there was a car anywhere within the vicinity of my car, it decides to beep at me. And I'm like, every time I yell at it and say, like, can I just make my own decisions here? So finally I turned it off.
I'm sorry, Dave. No, I can't let you do that.
No, I'm not excited. Oh, my last problem was that there is no cigarette lighter. Like, there's no 30, whatever you plug in the power close to the windshield. So
I'm actually impressed that you know it's a cigarette lighter. Most people don't realize
you know what I mean.
That's how it. No, absolutely. I know what you mean. Most people don't know that started out as a cigarette lighter.
Yeah, well, I pulled it out and I have it in my dash. So there's no. So I have to put the plug in the armrest to like stick it out to where my thing is on the dash.
If only our listeners could see the. Rock like
convoluted.
Oceans. And it's the same thing which was describing the chrome in the windshield too. It's genuinely impressive.
Okay,
so great gas mileage though.
Oh my God, such great gas mileage.
So gets gas mileage.
Oh my gosh,
they get
I don't
all the gas mileage.
All the gas mileage. I put like 7 gallons in it. It cost me like $13 or something, and I was like, "How is that even a thing?" It was amazing. So
it's the South, and we just have cheap.
It is the South. Yeah, I'm paying like $2 a gallon, and I'm getting great gas mileage. So.
And someone will complain about that. Like while you're filling your car up, they're going to be filling their F-350 gas motor up. Be like, $2.18. What the hell is this, Russia?
That's so dumb. Yes. So, okay. So I'm sorry I took up so much time. Got all kinds of fun things. So really great car. Happy with this compared to all the other crap that I could have gotten, especially if I'm doing 500 miles. So now I'm in Pensacola. I'll come home eventually. That's me. Chris, what are you doing? Because I actually don't know what you're doing.
For once.
I unpacked, and I provided laundry folding and repacking service for Arrive and Drive guests, apparently, because that's now a thing. So everything's clean and dry and away and smells great. And
if anyone's looking for a seat, 3-Pedal Mafia provides the highest caliber of concierge level Arrive and Drive service.
I was going to say,
and all it costs you is an axle. All you have to do is randomly buy an axle once a racing season, and you're good.
I believe I lent our Arrive and Drive a car for the weekend. A convertible.
Yes, you did. Well, it wasn't necessarily like working. It wasn't like top of the line working.
It was janky like the rest of my things. But what would you rather have? A free convertible for the weekend or your clothes fluffed and folded?
Fluffed and folded.
Toss up, actually.
Depends on what your needs are, though. He didn't need a car.
I've driven your Miata, and I've also experienced the Chris and Chrissy wash and fold every morning during a work weekend. And I'm sorry, there's no competition there.
Probably better. You're right.
So yeah, well, then there was all that prep for the race weekend stuff I did before since we last spoke, and all that racing we'll talk about more. And lastly, tonight I changed the oil in the Mercedes, which is why we started a few minutes late tonight, because I'm dying to get it done, because it's been 9,900 miles since I changed it last. And that's not too bad, because I do the oil analysis every time, and last time I was 80. The last couple of times I've been around 8,500, and they said, yeah, you can go further.
It's about what I do in the 3.
Cool.
Yeah.
How much closer is that to being my car?
It's not.
When I get something else.
Why?
Yeah.
No closer. No closer at all.
And that brings me to what you're working on mental. So we've finally
Really?
finally, by letting the temperature go to 106 every day and trapping Vicky in an RV and then driving around in a Volvo with no air conditioning, I've finally got her to start looking at cars. And we actually chose a few. And the initial discussion we had at the track is she found a Saturn Vue hybrid, which in a rare fit of hell no, I said, hell no. But
For a very good reason. That is like the worst car ever made.
But I like Saturn, and she did have a Saturn. We started dating, but I'd finally gotten her steered over to. There was a couple of Porsche Cayennes that were not terrible, well within value, and Chris had told me several things that I would be immediately replacing, so I was prepared for that. And we found one that looked really good online. It was at a used car dealer, but we didn't let that deter us, and we drove down there, and this Eastern European sack of crap had actually managed to pose these photos to use the shadows to hide horrible scratches on this thing, and it taped the back of the seat, of the driver's side seat on. And I'm just like, and you want how much for this? They want these. I'm like, you're out of your mind. So, but I did get at least Vicky. Yeah, did get Vicky looking in the realm of nice cars, and oddly enough, we found this gorgeous, for sale by owner, 2004 Land Rover HSE. All kinds of a bad decision, but the price was totally right.
Like an LR4 or LR3 at that point.
HSE.
Well, HSE is a trim level.
Yeah, it's the Range Rover. The
Range Rover then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what. It's not really the classic. It was the BMW powered one with the 5-speed.
This is the ginormous one.
No, wait to get an 0506. A 304 had all kinds of issues. Just don't do it.
I looked it up, but for the money, it was like no. Okay.
Go buy a Land Cruiser if you want something like that.
You don't want to she doesn't want to get stranded.
Seriously.
You don't want to strand her places.
I like British cars. I
do.
BMW. I wouldn't buy one of those.
Oh.
Okay, when you phrase it like that, it makes a lot of sense. You're like, look, I do the same drugs you do, and I would not put that needle in my arm. Okay, got it. So, but anyway, the guy freaked out because my bank wanted his name and address for the cashier's check. So he was, he's like, what do you need all that for? And I'm like, okay, well, all right. But anyway, we're searching. So I do still have her in the realm of looking at Mercedes. She found a lovely 320, but some other stuff like that today. So that's what we're trying to find a car with air conditioning, because, again, every day is over 100 degrees here. And I'm not complaining, but it's a bit shocking. It's actually better on my motorcycle than it is in my car with no air conditioning.
I could imagine that.
I'm not surprised.
I know Chris is not a fan of the Cayenne, but they are worth
with Cayennes.
Nothing. It's surprising that the
I appreciate like a tuna sandwich in July outside.
Thank you, Brian Medford. And that's what I'm looking at is there's a lot of these coming in from California. They're just over 100,000 miles. And if they blow up in 2 years, hey, got my money's worth out of it.
And they were driven by soccer moms. So, they weren't like hooned, it was a status symbol for the upper crust. And
get the V8 one, but not the turbo.
Yeah.
Check the coolant lines that run under the manifold, because those go bad on all of them. The drive shafts go bad. There are oil consumption issues. The interiors hold up very nicely though. So usually.
And aside from like the mechanical stuff that you mentioned, it's basically an Audi. And I'm okay with that. And
doesn't make it better.
No one ever.
Everything I read said exactly what you said is, don't get the turbo. And I'm wary of any forced induction here in the desert. And they said, for God's sakes, don't get the V6. Just don't even bother.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Good time.
All right. Are you all done, Mental? We'll move on to news and notes.
Chrissy, you're in a hotel room. Make everyone freak out. Say news and notes.
Oh, news and notes!
Oh, my.
In a crowded bar, people will look at me strange.
Yeah, right.
So,
They already are. You have headphones
Yeah,
and a microphone on.
And I have stickers out. I have the stickers out in case anyone asks me what the hell I'm doing.
Nice. So I'm going to start with a plug. Don't forget Lucky Dog. If you have a race car and you race to some of the best tracks in the country, like the Salute to the Dogs Alex Mills Memorial Race July 6th and 7th at Portland International Raceway presented by Pyrotech, you can still register for the first annual Dog Stock Jamboree August 9th through 11th and at Shasta Lake Resort, Lakehead, California, or next month. Registration isn't open for a few of the races they have coming up in the fall. Oregon, Wild Dogs Grand Prix, Streets of Ensenada, in Baja, Mexico, which we are threatening to go. But then there is always Flocktoberfest, October 12th. Come out, pet a chicken, grab DC Doug's ass, talk to all the people in all the endurance racing in all of the West Coast. What a great thing, Flocktoberfest. Check out Lucky Dog. Tell Kathy we sent you.
Absolutely. And hey, Mental, great news for you. Volvo has announced that they will now tow any Volvo ever made to the nearest dealer for free.
And honestly, I'm surprised I haven't had to take advantage of that yet.
Soon.
Oh, don't threaten that. That's not
Look.
nice.
Look. In middle of the show, just a tip from Jeff.
Oh, no.
If you drive a piece of crap, pay for a AAA Gold. That's it.
You should anyway.
There you go.
Yeah.
My mom gives me that for Christmas every
I've
year.
heard,
It's a great gift.
It is.
and Bradley Brownell, who we'll talk about in a minute, has given me that piece of advice like 4 times, and I still haven't done it.
Oh, come on.
It just frees you so much. You blow an alternator belt on your 1993 DSM. You say, tow that to my house. I'll fix that myself.
I call Christo. I say, Christo, I need help.
Anyway,
Let's
talk about some sad and sort of scary news. Automotive and motorcycle journalist Davey G. Johnson has been missing for over a week at this point. If you do not know who he has written for Motorcycle Magazine. He has written for Car and Driver. He was on a trip through the Sierra Nevadas on a new motorcycle to write a review, and he just basically disappeared in the Sierra Nevada mountains. They found his gear. They found the motorcycle, a little bit of his gear, like his backpack and his laptop. But
no, they just found his wallet and his motorcycle pants too.
Yeah.
And from everything, every single human being that has mentioned this guy said he's one of the nicest people in the business. And this is a genuine tragedy. If you know anything about it, it's all over the Facebooks, all over the internet. Please help somebody out. This guy needs to be found.
Absolutely.
How do we find him?
Go
looking. I don't want to go looking.
If you live
might
in
disappear
the
too.
Sierra Nevada mountains and you know something, like go look at his picture. It's all over the internet. If you saw him, call somebody.
Okay. So I'm going to give a disclaimer here. So before we talk about any racing, because I think it's going to come up, I need to tell anyone who may not have heard that some stuff that happened this weekend. We know that it happened at a Lemons race, that there were some serious crashes, 2 that we might be talking about here. So we need to kind of reference that what we do is dangerous. We talk about it all the time. Sometimes incidents still happen no matter how safe we try to be. We do what we can. We make good cages. We always wear our safety gear in case something happens. Thankfully, no one was badly hurt in the incident. They all walked away. Their cars were never going to see the track again, though. So you were warned. Sorry, not sorry. This is where I'm going to say hi, Mom, because this note is kind of for you. Also, thanks. Everybody thanks you for the cookies. Okay, moving on.
And when she says everybody thanks you for the cookies, Chrissy's mom, we're talking about probably 100 people that were at the party that we'll talk about that are thanking you for the cookies. You're getting famous.
And cakes, actually. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yes. So,
okay.
Recent events.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
No, that's okay. I can read it. Okay, so we're talking about Lucky Dog at Pacific Raceways in Kent. So we talked about it at last week. We didn't have any results. So now we're going to give you the results. On Saturday, VI Racing was number 1, 209 laps. On the same lap, the second team, U-Boot Ren Works, and they won a whole bunch of times all over the rest of the weekend. And they are the competitive team of Purple Haze. U-Boot Ren Works had the fastest lap time of 1:33.9 over VI, which had a 1:35, finished 35 seconds behind them. The IG buddies flying Lumberjack, are they really IG buddies? Like they really like us?
Absolutely, yeah.
Insta what? What is an Insta what? Silver Sleeves thought their gearbox. I did talk about that because that's the only thing that we knew about this. And then on Sunday, U-Boot Ren Works took the top with fast lap time of 1:34. And Race Invaders were second. Big Dog was third. Show favorites, the Lorado was fourth. VI Racing was fifth. And Silver Sleeves did a little bit better the next day. So that's what we got with Lucky Dog. Good job, guys.
All right, and on top of that, Lemons was at High Plains Raceway, braving some bad weather. Apparently, according to Eric Rude, it was storming the whole time. So first, by over 15 laps, was the Hella Shitty Racing. Second was Blown My Wad, and third, Ginger Race Team rounded out that podium.
Some of our fifth host, Eric Rude's picks, car 810, this Sherby's wedding planning is a brilliant idea for a bachelor party. Less brilliant idea for a car with a 97 Buick Riviera. So their personal luxury coupe completed a grand total of 7 laps, but they were not dead last. So good for them.
All right,
7 laps. That's a bad weekend.
It is, especially if they were there for this beats wedding planning. I'm not sure that it does, which means they probably wrenched.
They may have just stopped wrenching and said "F this" and started crack the beers.
Yeah.
At some point, sure.
And honestly, and I say this not to get any of us in trouble, but we're all married on this show, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us would agree that 7 laps and a lot of beer on a race weekend still beats wedding planning.
Well, it depends on how much wrenching they did. But anyway, okay, so some of Eric's other picks was the Tommy Salami and the Meat Wagon in their Daewoo Pontiac Opel Vauxhall Passport, whatever, took IOE. Which was awesome. Why would they do that? Racing took Heroic Fix.
Now, what exactly was that? Does anyone know? Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to interrupt.
A Pontiac Le Mans is what it was called in the U.S.
Yeah, it wasn't Opel Vauxhall.
But everywhere else in the world, it was something. I remember being an Opel Cadet when I lived over there.
Yeah.
But yes, it was every possible badge. It was actually all built by Daewoo.
Okay. So the Wonderment Consortium in their Impulse took the Regional Rare and Valuable Collector's Card, which took 31st. Onset Tetanus was 10th overall, second in B. Bad Decisions Racing in their Special Deluxe was 39th. Rocket Surgery, our friends, what's his name? Zap?
Rich?
Zap Rouse.
Zap, that's his name. In their Checker Marathon took 52nd, which means they probably struggled all weekend. And the Gutless Cutlass took 42nd, and Org Choice, which is interesting. I wonder why.
I saw Rich's checker covered in grass, like it had done some plowing. It had more grass on it than my lawnmower at one point. So.
Fair enough. So some other notables. Winner of Class B was Team Other Option in a 90 Audi Coupe. God's chosen class. The winners of Class C was Pizza Planet. They got and then Judge's Choice was the number 413 Toyota Tacoma out of. I'm sorry. Scratch that. They were the Toyota Tacoma, Pizza Planet, rather. Judge's Choice was the Balkland Express in a 1992 Yugo. Who would have thought that the Judge Phil, would have chosen a Yugo as his own?
Yugo needs to win something.
Of course.
Exactly. I Got Screwed was Jim Besties in their boring 1988 BMW 325.
That's Jim Bestie's GEMBEST. I don't know what that means. Jim Besties.
Did you ever remember Jim and the Holograms?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go with it. It has something to do with that. Now, just real quick, some other folks. The Inglorious Bastards had their haters going to hate Aston Martin up there, and also the property devaluation 302 BMWs. They didn't do as normally as they wanted to, but yeah, we got to give them a shout out because they support the show.
Cool. My thing moved. I was trying to fix stuff. Okay, NJMP. Okay. Class A overall, Mom Rath in their BMW long time for Amanda Tully and crew out there in their what is that thing? It's the Cheshire Cat decorated E36 or 46. I don't even know.
36.
BMW boring. Fools with Tools
BMW boring. Yeah.
Had a Mark III Golf that won Class B. I was out there with that thing. That thing was doing pretty well. Pretty impressive for a Mark III Golf. Class C went to the C team. Great story here. The team owner, his entire team flaked. So he showed up with the car with no drivers and then just like sold seats at the race, including good friend Dan, who was with them for a little while. And I got all excited because they said they were, stayed out of the penalty box. So I'm like, congratulations, Dan, you didn't crash and you didn't black flag. And he goes, well, I didn't black flag in that car. So I think
how
he was also.
How many cars was he racing?
He's
at least two.
He showed up to race with someone else, and someone was selling a seat, so he was like, "I'll race it."
Yeah. I'm fast. You should put me in the car. I never go to the penalty box.
I don't even. He doesn't even say that.
Hi, I'm Dan. You can just do the driver swap in the penalty box.
Dan is fully aware of his strengths and weaknesses. So anyway, winners of the Party in the Panic was Race Bar, which had an awesome theme. They had shorts. They were like bright orange running shorts, like from the 80s.
Small, yes.
They were small.
Shorts.
They were small.
And they had a bar built onto their BMW.
Yes.
All right, well, hurry up.
All kinds of lights.
Hurry up.
It was basically like a club in a car. It was some sort of 5 Series, right, Chris?
7. It was an E23 7 Series.
7 Series. Yeah. They had the greatest speakers on that thing. They were wake boat speakers. We're definitely getting some of these things. They were awesome. And I know for a fact from the party, when they were on top of the roof pumping the kegs, they do not wear underwear under those little shorts.
Weren't they in the hot tub with you wearing those shorts?
No, I got out.
What was great is also like you talk about in theme for the whole weekend. That thing rolled onto the grid with people dancing on that bar like until the last possible moment.
Yeah, they were awesome team. They themed real hard. There's a great picture on one of our social medias. I can't remember what I did it to, either Facebook or to Instagram.
Insta what?
Of the just wiring mess inside that car.
Was that car?
Yeah, that was that car.
Oh, I didn't realize which car it was.
Bad. It was like.
I kind of started to twitch when I looked at it.
Actually, I think Lemons posted it. And and I reposted it. OCD. If anybody's OCD here, just go look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chris didn't sleep Saturday.
Very impressed with the judge's choice, Sunbeam Rapier. I have never seen a Sunbeam Rapier in my life. I would not have known what a Sunbeam Rapier was unless I walked up and read the trunk. So it was out there all weekend.
I think it got some damage. I think because I think it was pretty pristine when it went out there, and when it came back,
the left got a good dent in it at some point from a BMW.
At the race.
Yeah.
Wait, no, from a BMW? No, not at NJMP. I think you got that wrong. There's no way.
The only BMW that didn't hit anything.
We didn't.
You didn't see the Sunbeam Rapier, and God bless them because they were out there. But I was averaging seeing that thing like every other lap when I was.
It was slow, but it didn't stop much. Org Choice went to Speedy Cop and his fishbowl. It was basically like an MR2 with 2 Gremlin hatchbacks on it. Kind of looked like a submarine.
Pacer.
AMC.
Pacer. I'm sorry. I was going to say Gremlin. I meant Pacer. IOE went to the Hudson Hornets. I don't remember the team name. I'm sorry, but it's the
Cynical Racing.
Thank you, Cynical Racing. And it looks just like Mario Andretti's first race car. And I didn't know that was at the Simeone.
Yeah, that's how they got it. The Simeone sold it, and they picked
it up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
It's supposedly a pretty close replica of Mario Andretti's first car. And but it still has a flat head. It's just it's legit.
It's red. It has no hood. It has just like the radiator out and alone in the world up front there. Go ahead, Chrissy.
They were also teething some problems when we were, we'll get to this later, but when we were driving the Civic up and down the road, on the pit road, trying to figure out what was wrong with the axle, they also were doing the same thing. So we were passing them when I was going by. They were coming by and trying to, I guess they were driving around trying to figure out what's going wrong.
Well, without a doubt, I think Oscar, the Sunbeam Rapier, and the Hudson Hornet were the 3 top dogs for IOE. Whichever one of them made the most laps probably deserved it. I haven't looked at the results, but yeah, I would go with the Hudson Hornet any day.
The Hudson just never stopped. It just kept going.
Yeah.
The Hudson, it's been around for a couple races.
Yeah.
The Javelin, the Javelin did not do well at all.
No,
I saw them
get bad.
Yeah, I saw them get towed in a couple times. So, okay. All right. So I stuck this in race results just because it's part of the race results. And then now we're going to get into the crunchy, crashy bits. So from the one of the teams that got smushed and was really just the sad part of, like, the person that didn't cause the issue is what I'm trying to get at. But
Should we explain what happened to them first, or should we read it first?
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to mention there were 2 cars, Chrissy already mentioned, that are total write-offs for this. One of them are 3.
Right.
3. 2 of them are in this. Yeah, 2 of them in this incident. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, but one of them deserved it in this incident. 2 cars that were totally done wrong. One of them was our friends from Cheesebolt Enterprises with their 609 Ford Focus, and they basically got
pushed into a guardrail.
Yeah, got pushed into a guardrail by somebody passing on the grass. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Okay, so this is from the guys that got pushed. They were the part of the incident that they didn't cause it. So I'm going to put this out there. I love you guys. We Cheese Bolters have been on the scene for a short 2 years, which I thought it was longer than that, but great. And we've made so many friends in this community. At Pitt, I sidled up to Jay, and even though I hadn't consumed enough brown liquid to be truly emotional, I expressed thanks to him for the wonderful thing that he built, Lemons. It's truly a wonderful community of crazy people. As you know, our 609 Focus was totaled at NJMP this weekend. Happily, no one was injured in the incident, but the damage pretty much eliminated our chances of racing again in 2019. Thanks to the kindness of Lemon's team, which rhymes with Rome math, we are receiving a new S&W race cars cage for our newly acquired ZX3. To say we're honored and humbled is by this amazing and generous gift is a huge understatement. Thank you. It shall be paid forward back on track in 19, probably 20. But so sad. Jeff, you indicated that we know them better, or it sounded like you knew them better than I thought we did.
Yeah, they're kind of local to me, so I talk to them all the time.
Yeah, we met them at Radwood last year, and we met them at this race. Yeah, we bumped into them a few times. Nice guys.
I probably just can't remember what they look like.
So they were at the race car prom.
Yeah, all a bunch of really nice guys.
Yeah,
David especially.
Yeah, if you saw them, you would be like, oh yeah, those guys. You probably just don't recognize their car. I do have to mention that I talked quickly to David on the Facebooks. From this afternoon, and I'm going to join them for some wrenching sessions this summer, helping them put their car together. And they have a present for Chris, but I won't.
It's so cool.
Oh, you know it. Okay.
He already knows what it is.
Talked about him.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Let's talk about great car. Or should we mention the other wreck before we keep going, or should I do the plug for next?
Well, I will say it was the 666 BMW. Just a very slight clip, trying to be aggressive coming out of the bowl onto the main straightaway. Ended up rolling. It was horrific to watch. They posted the footage, and the driver was out of the car before the emergency vehicles were there. It resulted in a red flag. But again, say your job. And responded.
Stop.
It was what looked like.
Just stop. It's not working. Sorry.
Okay.
You're cutting off.
As you're eating.
Chris, finish your story.
Oh, I'm not eating.
So what happened is 666 tried to pull between number 945 and E36 and 71, I think, a Audi Coupe GT. He tried to split the difference and go 3 wide up the middle between them. as he was doing so, at some point he pulled very close to the E46 that was riding it like on the curbing. Like he couldn't go any further to the right. When he did, one of his wheels touched one of the E46 wheels, which kicked the car up in the air. And once the right side is up in the air, some of the left tires hit, and it just started a barrel roll. Endoed, it just tore the whole thing apart. Now, I've seen video also now from the Volvo, not the Volvo, the Audi as well.
Yep.
And
front
there's
and back.
never any contact between the Audi and the 666 that rolled.
Yeah.
So when 666 moved to the right into the E6, it was not because of any contact with the Audi. There was daylight between them the whole time.
Okay, I understand.
It was
so the
for
far
some
car.
reason, the
far
one,
car did
basically
not
it was all
come into the middle car.
Nope. The guys on the sides didn't do a thing. The one on the right was all the way at the curb. He stayed there. The one on the left, moved over maybe a little bit because that's a kind of a curve there. It's like a kink, but there was always daylight between them. 666 just moved too close to the E46. They touched tires, which is why you need to have covering over your wheels. And the tires just climbed up each other, got that one side up, and you're going, 90, 100 right there. So it got two wheels sideways and just rolled and rolled and rolled.
Yeah, just once you turn sideways, you have no chance, and you're being touched by someone else, and you're lifting. Yeah. You're in trouble.
It kind of went over the hood of the E46. It
did. The video is amazing.
That guy needed to pull his seat out of his butt after it was done.
All of them did.
But I tell you.
Go, Mento.
It was genuinely heartwarming to see him climb out of that car, though, because it was a scary roll. And then from where me and Matt were on the track, we could see him get out of the car, and that made us feel a whole lot better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've raced against that 666 for a while. They had the Flying Spaghetti Monster theme, not a new team. The orange.
They used to have all the Cavaliers. So.
Yeah. The orange BMW that I believe wrecked. They're
the ones that took out
Echo
cheese bolters.
Crew. They took out cheese bolters. I don't know them from Adam, so I don't know if they were new or not. That definitely was a new car. But anyway, let's talk about good cars. Extreme Experience. They have a bunch of awesome cars at a bunch of locations. They have a bunch of supercars. So if you have the need for speed, we can help cure that. This coming weekend, they're at Motor City in Detroit. They're all over the nation. So go to xxspeed.com. They just were at Pocono. Of course, that passed, but that was awesome. Pick the track, pick the car, wrap it all up, typing in the code SUPERDAD. Yes, a new code this week. SUPERDAD, one word, and you'll get 30% off, which is better than the 25%. By doing Everyone Racers, so do that. Also works in the permanent location in New Orleans. Extreme Experience. It's your turn.
Now it's time for listener feedback. Sorry, I'm in a bar. We had a lot of fun and fan interaction at NJMP. So James M saw the Honda's new theme and remarked that, "Ooh, a Godzilla head instead of a fist. You guys are taking S&M to a whole new level." Yeah, props.
Yeah. And lots of new faces, old faces, all kinds. Great to see our usual friends. Glenn Farney raced with us this event. He brought good talent, great attitude, super helpful, and a very popular pop-up tent. Tyler Hoffman loved our American tent. Hell yeah.
Now, we've talked about Speedy Cop's latest creation. It's all over the internet, but he made it a point to thank us for helping him out with some brake parts, and you're welcome, buddy.
Yeah,
make sure you send that brake hose back. Get us another one.
Yeah, right. Over your dead body.
Front brake hose.
No way.
How did we find a brake hose that fit his car?
Apparently, the one from a 91 Integra is very similar to that on a 93 MR2.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Who knew? Oh wait, you knew. That's who knew.
No,
I didn't know. He brought it. He walked over
the
brake hose, and I said, "Hang on, I got something pretty close." Dig in the bucket. There we go.
I have to say that the fishbowl was actually on race pace. So I know a lot of his crazy builds get a lot of heat for not being real race cars. But that one kept up. So definitely kudos.
Yeah, thanks, Hamza.
Right. Underneath it was the MR2 that Hamza and Dave Mills built. So
of course.
That's why.
Yeah. And it's been there forever. It used to be the Red Bull car, right? Wasn't it?
No, that was the X90.
That was X90, yeah.
X90, right.
It was the one that had the
was
Lancia paint.
orange.
Yeah, that was an actual Lancia over a different MR2.
Oh.
Okay.
How many MR2s has Giant Dave built? Who knows?
All of them. All of the MR2s.
Anton, do you have something to say? You had your hand
No.
up. Okay, fine. So to answer the new faces, old faces, I would like to see Rally Baby out there in full force. It's been a long time since they've had their consortium at Lemons, so that was awesome. And then I feel like I was trying to rack my brain of thinking of who new faces that we were out there. If I met them, I don't remember them. I know that Bruce met a lot of people with his welder and other random parts because he's like, I feel like he was kind of like the storekeeper. Like people walked by and they were like, oh, can I have this? And he would go into the store and he would find stuff and then he would come back out and like people were like, oh, can I have this? Especially since there was power to his RV to his trailer, so people were using everything and then some. Yes.
Yeah, I totally welded up the flange on someone's header because the header gasket blew out in the middle flange, and so we just welded it back together with Bruce's welder, of course.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I got to give a quick shout out to Zero Energy, not only for doing the barbecue that fed most of the paddock, but also for in somebody else's garage. They were cleaning out, and they randomly ran across a 90 to 93 Integra hub, and the guy was going to toss it, and the guy said, "No, wait. I know someone who needs that." They saved it, and they brought it to the track to give it to us. Props to Zero Energy. Thanks, guys. We really do need that hub, so thanks.
So they came by, and we were sitting in the shade. I think a couple of us had just sat down. Race was on or something, some stuff or practice or whatever. People, you weren't there, and there's random people around.
I had talked to him earlier when I was in the car.
So two guys come over on a bike and a little mini bike, and they say, "We have a present for you. Here's this thing." And I'm like,
and they present it to Chrissy, and Chrissy's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "What is it?" It's like rusty, and they go, "It's an Integra hub for Chris."
Needs it.
I'm like, oh, give me that.
I was like, cool. I mean, I knew what it was. I just didn't know why it was like that exciting as a present, but I got it now. Yep.
So we might as well say that we debuted the new Honda. We're going to talk about practice, but it's probably important to say that that the giraffe car no longer is a giraffe car. It is now Go Godzilla. We've been talking about it for a while.
Hashtag they should totally sponsor us because our car is going to do better than that movie.
That's right. And it had a new motor in it. It had K24 swap. We could talk about it now because everybody's seen it. Not that we haven't been talking about it, but we might have new listeners.
Probably
maybe.
Not. No, I doubt it. Everybody knows.
Nope.
So we all did practice the Honda because we were trying to shake it down. We discovered immediately, without even getting it on the track, that we needed to rebuild an axle. Took care of that. No big deal.
Well, it was even worse
than
that.
No, we built
it. I'm joking.
Okay.
Well, it was apparently we found out after the first time going over 30 and turning right that the left side axle was too short and it was binding. So we had to research an internet solution and found that if you mix and match K and B series parts, you can make an axle that's just a little bit shorter. And that one actually worked great.
Yeah.
You guys made it look easy.
It's just greasy.
Yeah.
We also had some issues with codes before that. We had an oxygen sensor code that we were tracing, and eventually we figured out the plug was a little loose. That was it, I think. So
this is all part of the normal shaking down of a new car.
Yeah, a new build.
And then I had to disable the NOx sensor. I had to change the fuel pressure, stuff like that. But we did all that, and that was okay.
Yeah. And this was all part of the practice session, right? Because we would go out and come back. Let's go around the table. Everyone got to practice the Honda, right? How did it go? I'll go first.
Yes.
Got a couple laps. I had trouble with the shifting pattern. I misshifted a lot. A lot. I was like 5 laps. I probably did it 5 times. But
Misshifted or shift miss?
Chris is like
shift miss is an explosion. Misshift is not do that. Not do that.
Yeah. No. That's what I did. I went.
It's not the right one. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't overattack or anything weird. I actually put it in the wrong gear too high more frequently, and it just kind of like, so I got it. I need time in the car, but it was a handling nightmare on Friday, and it was as fast as a rocket. I can't wait to get more laps in it.
What do you give her?
Oh, it's hecka fast. I give her 12 out of 10.
This good pork chop. Me doggo
right?
like. I give it 25 out of 10.
Good race car. I give 10 out of 10.
12 out of 10.
12 out of 10.
So I got 12. I got 2 practices, so I have a little bit more time to report on this. I still have, especially the first time that I went out, is the new build. My husband and others worked so hard on this, and I'm scared of it. Concerned. That's in italics. From the first stint, it's fast and awesome. The brakes are not confidence inspiring. It was twitchy, and I kind of feel like it was more twitchy than it used to be. But Chris insisted I go back out again because I got out and he said, "Did you have fun?" And I was like, No, I didn't have fun. And so second stint,
Go out there and have some fun before I get angry.
Second stint was better. I still need some time. Like Jeff said, I was shift missing and up and down, and so I was not engaging completely, but it was definitely more than I should. So that's what I got.
So I'm kind of with you on this, not at the same level, but the Honda has been a part of my race DNA and my race resume for a very long time. And I actually finally got to help with this one. I got to help build this version. And so I'm really proud of it. And it was really dancy. One of the problems I had is putting it in perspective is coming down the main straightaway, going from 5th into 6th. I'm like, man, this car's kind of sketchy. And then we sat down and I talked to Chris, and Chris goes, well, yeah, you're doing 100 and what would you come up with mathematically, Chris?
Before your braking zone, you're probably doing 125.
Yeah, easily.
In a Civic hatchback.
Which, God's honest truth, that's extreme experience speeds that we're doing when we teach on that track. And what's compelling about this car is there's no drama at those speeds. I mean, it's a little dancy, and I just felt like it was skittish. And I think if I'd known how fast I was going, I'd probably been a little bit more scared. But
we don't have a speedometer, so we don't know how much.
That's why I'm calculating the math of like, all right, if he's at 65 at RPM and 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hitting the shift light before we're passing Dale on the tower. But so I've handled classified data with less delicacy than I was trying to shift this thing. And Jeff was making fun of me because he was out there and he's like, I can hear mental, searching for gears. Because I'm using 2 fingers trying to get this thing into the right gears. But we knew there were going to be teething issues. What's exciting is it does not make a lot of racket when it's at speed. It does not let you know, oh my God, you're doing 130 miles an hour. It's just like, oh yeah, no, we're cool. Yeah, 6,000 RPM, 6th gear, man. Let's do it. Whatever, bruh.
Quirky everywhere.
It is, but there's
it is.
So much potential. Once the handling gets ironed out, this car is going to be insane. I'm looking forward to it.
I think I drove it less than all y'all.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Because you're a good team owner, Chris, and we love you.
I just wanted to make sure everyone got in the car, and I was like, well, it's not immediately blowing up. It seems like it's okay. Let's get everybody in it. When VTEC Yo hits, hang on. It's the most fun, the hardest VTEC hit of any car I've had, and that includes NSX and other stuff. So, yeah. The shifter issue is that in the 6-speed, normally it's on the transmission. I didn't put it in, of course, because why do I need this? There's a lockout for the reverse gate, which is to the right of 5-6. So because of that, right now, if you go to 4th, you go up to 5th, you go all the way over into the reverse gate, and you can't. Then you got to come back to find 5th, and sometimes when you do that, you get 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly
I said, when I was wiring it up, I said, what the hell do I need the reverse lockout for? We just won't shift to reverse at speed. That's fine. Yeah, all right, I got to put that in. So that was
sorry.
Very clear. Like, no, I did.
I'm actually really happy none of us actually shifted to reverse, though.
Well, it's because it's backwards and over. Like, it's hard to do. But anyway,
you go into the gate.
But
you
go
can't
into
figure
that
out.
gate.
It's
Exactly.
between the 3, 4, 3, 5, and reverse gate is the problem.
I think you underestimate my incompetence, Chris.
Apparently, all of us. My own too. I kept doing. I'd go to 5th and go, oh no, there it is.
Yeah.
So I gotta wire that thing in and tell the ECU to turn on shift lock, go, or at the very least I'll put a little switch on it on the dash so like once we're moving, no lock, lock it out, something like that.
Sure.
That's actually a brilliant idea. That's what they do in Le Mans cars.
Yeah, so then you cannot get reverse. If you want reverse, okay, I got to flip the switch, and then I can put in reverse.
Oh, that's fine because you're only going to go at low speeds anyway.
Lamborghini. Yep.
Oh yeah, totally.
So yeah, aside from that, I mean, I just couldn't believe that it was going as quickly as it was down the straight. Like I did the math. 6th gear at red line of 7,000 is 135, and we were hitting at least 6,500 in 6th when I was getting a good run out of the bowl, or even not even a great run out of the bowl. Like. Yeah,
a lousy run out of the bowl, you'd still hit the shift line.
I honestly think on a longer track we might run out of gear.
Atlanta, we might, but oh well.
Oh, well.
I don't really want to go.
That's our problem.
More than 135 in a car with the Godzilla head sticking out of PVC pipe.
And then we have to stop. Like you go that fast, but then you have to stop it at some point.
I think I'm going to do some bigger brakes because we're going so fast now. And so Mini Cooper, 07 Mini Cooper rotors will go right on with Integra Type R calipers, all with 0 modifications. And it'll give us another almost full inch and a larger pad and stuff. So
have you been researching it, or you just
I have researched the fact that this could happen. Before, we didn't need any more brakes. The Integra plenty.
No.
We should mention that we did find some odd settings in the suspension, so we believe we may have corrected some of the handling problems.
It's still not perfect. I need to make it better.
Yeah, make it perfect.
We will describe later why we didn't actually get to prove.
Do we?
That's all right. So then, Radwood again. Last time we were out there with our street cars last year and went to the Navy Yard. We brought Jeff's hella great janky Miata. We brought the NSX. We had a great time. That was a lot of fun, guys. This time we got to see Bradley again. He drove from Nevada while Wimpy Mental flew in. Who's the real auto journalist now?
Oh.
Yeah, I had a good time. Radwood was cool. The laps were a nice addition. I think probably the people who showed their car at Radwood probably never get a chance to get on track because not a whole lot of track cars over there. My favorite part was the guy who built the Cressida. Yes, the most successful 3PM car ever. The guy who made it a 5-speed, who owned it throughout his life, who turned it into a cool car. He was showing his right-hand drive Toyota Soarer, and he was Facebook messaging Uncle Dave, and he said, "Oh, the Cressida's going to be there. I'm going to come out." So he drove out his like perfectly beautiful, impossible to find Japanese import. And what did they do? They all hung around the Cressida going, "Oh, that's cool. I did that in college. Hey, where'd you put that in? Hey, this is cool here too." So
I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That was very cool.
They seem very proud of the record that the Cressida has been setting.
Well,
too.
duh. It usually does pretty well, except for the last race. So we'll get there. So I spoke with Bradley as well. He said this event was really well attended. He said there's about 30 cars less than last year. And this was a crap ton cheaper, which I had no idea. Apparently, the Navy Yard is very, very expensive, and this was not. So that's great. And all the attendees got to see a race. So while Lemons Racing is boring because it's just around and around, it's a different venue. And so I think everybody was pretty pleased with it being at the racetrack, which is awesome. Chris and I scooted over, and we saw a bit of fun things, and then we said, "Oh, we'll come back," and then we totally didn't. So I only saw that they had 2 NSXs. We walked around, saw some Hondas, saw the cool Japanese, there were probably 5, 6, 10 cars that were like cars you don't see anywhere. Like they were, I don't even know what kind of. I kept
Soarer and the.
Yeah. I kept saying like, "What is that?" And sometimes Chris was like, "I don't even know what that is." So, so it was an interesting setup, and hopefully people liked it because it was a different place to be.
I think I saw a Toyota Serra there, that little gull wing egg-shaped thing.
Yep. Oh, he can hear. He ran away. There was a
Mazda AutoZam. There was an
AutoZam. I didn't see the AutoZam.
There was some bizarre Citroen kind of rally car looking thing.
Yes, that one I saw. They were taking pictures of that one at the entrance to the racetrack.
There was like a Singer 993. There was
saw that.
I don't know. There was all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah.
All kinds of fun.
An Alpina E36 wagon. What?
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Parties.
Moving on.
There were some parties at this thing, wasn't there?
There were parties.
Yep. Well, it's something we missed earlier. When there's the hot tub, there's a party, and
True.
I think was it Matt or Greg or who came up with the ingenious way of filling the hot tub
I don't
this
even
time?
think
We
it
were
was
a long
either of
way
them.
away
I
from
think
the
it was a
hose.
random person.
So anyway, they took an
That feels
F-150.
like a Bruce Matt solution to me.
Yeah, they took an F-150 and some tarps. They filled the back of the F-150 with water, backed it up to the hot tub, undid the tailgate, angled the tarp, voila, a couple 100 gallons right in the hot tub.
It's on our Instagram, and it was a big hit.
It was way, way more successful than I think anyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I have shown that video to other people more often than I've shown like the rollover video.
Yep.
It's a better video.
It's true.
It's true.
So
Well,
who's
hey, the one
talking
thing
about Rally
the-
Baby?
Well, so my car thought we hired a DJ. Well, he hired a DJ. We thought it was Lambo Pete, but it was actually just DJ Pete. He rocked a tent, and so yeah, guy threw it out. I wish he would have played his "You Home" Slice, but
No, I don't think he knew that song. That was my fault. I didn't realize there was more than one Pete on Rally Baby. So when they said, "Oh, it's DJ Pete," I was like, "Lambo Pete DJ."
Totally, yeah, didn't matter because Lambo Pete and Josh Shenny totally rolled into that party Saturday night. It was great.
Also, they had a lot of great tunes. We were right paddocked right next to that, so we had some of the overflow from the party, or at least all of us could creepily stand next to. Not all of us. I was at the party. Duh. Everybody else who didn't want to come to the party could creepily stand next to the bar and watch all of the other people that were happening at the party. But actually, Hamza supplied some glow sticks, which I need to give him back. Brittany was such a hit.
Who's Brittany?
Brittany, spelled Britny, I think, or I.
Brittnee.
Okay.
With a heart over the eye.
Right?
Of course.
Brittany is our, does she have a
inflatable
Flotation aid.
woman?
Flotation aid.
flotation aid? I was trying to think of a nice way to say about it. We got her for when we used to run the fly bridge in the boat, or she used to run in the boat.
Something.
I
Anyway.
think so.
Moved
So anyway,
around,
she was
yeah.
a big hit. The race bar, as we already talked about, they were awesome. They showed up, had the party. There were a bunch of kids too, maybe 2 kids that just
Yeah, there was like
were
an 8-year-old dancing on the bar.
Yeah,
like,
they
he
were
was
like
the hit of the party.
the life of the party. It was awesome. I believe the Squatting Slavs showed up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when I was in the party.
Moscow Mule.
we
Right.
should
There's
probably-
a whole bunch of them.
Yes. So we should probably explain this. So the Squatting Slavs in Tracksuit group, that is their theme. They have Adidas stripes on their car, and they had a wagon full of Moscow Mule, which is a drink, in case anybody doesn't know, but it's like 3 inches off the ground. So they will hand you a cup, but you must squat to fill the
With
cup.
them?
And while
I
you
didn't
squat,
realize that.
the entire paddock chants, Moscow
Moscow
Mule, Moscow Mule, Moscow Mule.
Oh,
It was tasty. I had
Talk
quite a filled cup in the hot tub.
Talk about a team that goes along with the theme very well. They know how to rock it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that's enough about the party. We had a lot of beer. We bought beer thinking people would come into our paddock and get beer, but they had kegs, so we ended up taking a lot of beer home. So whatever, great time all around.
Despite our best efforts, we drank a lot.
Yeah, and we brought some home too. Okay, so let's talk about the race. Our FM?
Florida man.
Florida man. Oh, I'm sorry. Florida man Donnie mentioned everything's going great up right until the moment it wasn't, which and then another one said brought out the sad trombone, and the lovely and talented Jennifer, this was hilarious, posted someone should start a GoFundMe and get that man some trombone lessons, and that's on Jeff.
So
Do you know who can play the trombone really well and did at the trophies?
Eric.
Chrissy's mom.
Yeah, no, Eric.
I had to put in a quick
You did
discussion about the trombone. So Eric, who is an actual musician who plays in an actual band, discovered that the trombone was assembled incorrectly, and that's why the slide didn't really work.
It's not why.
It's like
because we're really
It made it better.
It made it better. It made it better.
You argue that you don't play with the slide anyway, so.
Well, no, because the slide didn't work. It didn't affect the music. So anyway, it's still in my truck because remember, I didn't unpack.
Yeah.
So we'll have it next week, and we'll decide if I'm better at it or not. That's it.
Eric's better than you.
Oh, yes, without a doubt.
The race in general, though, I thought the driving was all right when I was out there. I was out there on the afternoon shifts, and that wasn't too, it's, I guess, medium nor level aggression for New Jersey. It wasn't too bad. There were some people being a little bit of a jerk, but then I would kind of, if someone was trying, like I was waiting for two cars to finish what they were doing in front of me and there wasn't really enough room to thread the needle, someone would try to stick their nose in me, I'd just kind of move over a little bit and say, hang on, pump slice. And
I totally
it was okay.
I totally went up to Steve like 3/4 of the way through Saturday and said, like, hey, it's not so bad out there. Like, it's crowded, and there's some backups in the yellow flags, which can get frustrating.
Yeah, the flags weren't great.
There's some bad driving, like unskilled driving, but there's new drivers learning and doing new driver things, which you have to expect at a Lemons race. I didn't think there were any, like, or as many punch him in the head jerk-offs as I have seen at other races. Themselves. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it seems that Sunday was totally different.
I was out for the end of Sunday. I thought it was all right, but oh well.
Yeah.
No, I thought Sunday was a lot more calmer. The thing was driving me nuts on Saturday was a whole lot of brake, downshift, flag station, not going to check my mirrors, coming on over kind of stuff. And I saw a lot less of that on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all right. Anyway, so moving on to the cars. Cressida.
Okay, Cressida.
Is that Mars Attacks or is that all right? Okay. So the Cressida was out running fast and clean as it
always does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Minor mechanical on Saturday. A broken hub quickly resolved to the amazement of Denise Remisar, who mentioned the surprise that the Cressida is back and that quick. Took me a month to get one for my Cressida. Yeah, it's because Dave has all the spares. It was a broken hub. You just replaced the whole trailing arm. Boom, done. In. There you go. Have a nice day. Back on track. Hell yeah. It's because Bob and she pointed out the Cressida has a spare for pretty much every single part. So yeah, they got it done and back in.
They borrowed my truck, my Avalanche once, and they were like little bags, like shopping bags, like the little things that you would get at the grocery store, filled with parts like stuck in all the little nooks and crannies of my truck that they'd forgotten. So I was like, hey, do you recognize a pink Easter plastic bag with brake calipers in? Oh, yeah, that's mine. I'll take that. Okay, how about this little thing with trailing? Oh, yeah, that's mine. I'll take that bag. So he must travel with lots and lots of parts.
Well, it's a car you can't just go down to the U-Pull-It or the parts store and get a new thing for it. Like, where else are you going to get a spare for an 86 Cressida?
Nowhere.
Chrissy. All right. Anyway, aside from that, it's a little wrinkled now, but that's okay.
Yep.
Betty. So let's talk about Mike.
You got to mute your mic, because every time you do that, we can hear all kinds of fun rustling.
So
bags of Doritos.
We're not going to mention the slight shunt that the Cressida took.
It managed to spin into a soft tire wall at the end of the day on Sunday.
It's got a little dent here and there.
Yeah,
character.
Right before it happened, I was coming up under the bridge and I smelled gear oil. And then I come around 7 and there's the car in the tire wall. So I think that might have something to do with it. So.
And that is a place where a lot of people force down shifts. That's where a lot of transmissions goes, where a lot of engines give up the ghost. That's always a greasy corner.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Betty. So we all know how Betty works. It is an awesome car. They are great drivers. They get out there and they're winning and they're winning and they're winning. And they say, wow, this is too much winning. We should just stomp right on our member. And that's what they do. They wiener stomp harder than any other crew can. Let's take a poll real quick. What is what Civic's not working yet, but what is the fastest car that 3PM has?
Honda's BMW.
Well, Betty probably. Oh, Betty did a faster lap.
No, she did not.
No, she
most certainly did not. Hamza stomped on Betty twice.
Oh. Well, anyway, it is pretty darn fast.
Oh, yeah.
Is it successful?
No.
Once.
So my favorite joke of the weekend is they were running third and they were doing great. And Betty has a GM one-wire alternator on its Chevy 3800 V6. What went wrong? The one wire fell off. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Bit of a odd note. Most people don't know this. A one-wire 3800 GM alternator, more expensive than a Acura TS or RSX axle.
You do know that, don't you?
It's harder to get.
All right.
So,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. My favorite story of the weekend with Betty was this is after they stopped winning. So this is Sunday. They were still doing pretty well. They were pushing pretty hard and having a good time. But I think half of the team might have started to give up. So Darren, who is awesome and continues to run and tries to keep up the momentum with that team because there's only 3 of them, and so Darren's in the car and he's driving and he's like, I want to get out. Is anybody ready? Greg, are you ready? Greg says, oh yeah, I'll get in the car. Greg still doesn't have a suit on, and even if we're not trying to win, we usually try to get in the car, okay, it's time that you're paying for, you're not on track. So all of a sudden I come back to the paddock and I see the car, Betty's in and Darren's sitting on a chair. And I say, what's wrong with the car? He's like, nothing. I was just thirsty. And so he got out of the car, and he's like, I kept saying, can I come in? Is anybody ready? And nobody was ready, and I was just really thirsty. So he was just sitting there watching.
That's real racing right there.
It's real racing when you
the
just
amount of
get
times that they wiener stepped because of just effort, attitude, and disorganization is probably just as frequent as any other kind of error.
They did get rear-ended pretty hard and pushed into
They
someone
did, absolutely.
So,
sure.
The
they
car
had
behind
a rough
didn't have their
weekend,
eyes
too.
up. But they fixed that pretty well. Bruce got the everything, got the porta power out and straightened everything out really well. Actually did a really nice job with that on Bruce's part, and got them going. So, and we may have lost Mental, which I don't know.
No, I think
people may or may not.
I'm here. I'm in power conservation mode because they don't have a plug here, so I won't make it to the end of the show. So have a great week, folks, and tune in next week.
Thanks.
Oh man.
All right.
Okay.
So keep going. I guess it's time for the Civic. Well, we talked a little about some of the issues we started with, the codes initially, the axle issue. It was running a little hot too, and this is after putting in the largest radiator I can physically fit in the space with a fan that's set on the ECU to control it, with ducting around the front of the radiator to push air through it, with a hole in the hood behind the radiator with an angled up lip to suck air out of it. If we were really giving it the beans, it would hit 220. If you were medium on it, you'd be 210. If you were easier on it, you'd be 190, 200. So we need to get back to that 190, 200 all the way. So I'm looking to find a thicker radiator core. And from looking at some of the at speed pictures that have been out there that Bobbin posted, I've seen that the lower ducting I have below the radiator at speed is deflecting and allowing air to get under
the radiator.
So I need to do a better job of the lower deflector to get air through the radiator.
That's good work right there.
That is interesting.
Yes, good work.
The other thing about that, and we talked about this on the track, it doesn't like yellow flags. Especially after you've been at speed and it comes down and you're just kind of lumping along in fifth, it doesn't like that at all. It wants more airflow while you're dealing with that.
That just means the fan is not big enough. So, and right now it already is the most amperage draw fan that I could find that would fit in that space. So we may have to get another small or even smaller one to fit on the other side just to try to get a little more flow through it, or a pusher fan or something. But then we have to move the oil cooler. It's one of those.
And there's just not much room there.
No, it's a little.
When you look down there, there's the fan, and then the
we might have to go back into the headlight bucket.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah. Which worked really well for the oil cooler. So, okay.
All right, Mental. If you're still around, do you want to do what you're?
Well, and Chris, I think was about to talk about the axle issues, but ultimately,
it was. Thanks, Jeff.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought we already covered the axle issues. Go, Chris.
No, we didn't cover the second one.
You can select somebody.
Jim
skips
was
over
out.
Chris on.
Yeah, Jim was out, and then he says, "This is getting no." Just as Mental was out, he said, "This is all of a sudden, it's pulling hard to the right now, like really hard to the right." Like yank the other wheel hard to the right. Say, well, then come in. And then
The problem is that you were in the car.
It broke. Yeah.
You were in the other car.
But I was radioing with him, and so that he came in, and that's when the axle decided to completely explode the rest of the way. I'm sure that was very exciting.
Yeah,
Chrissy had to push it by herself with me in it for the last 20 feet to the pit.
And I'm going like, and he's going,
Chrissy, I didn't know.
Yeah, because he stopped, and I was like, okay, come here, and he's like,
I
can't.
And I'm like, just come. So I then I did that. Yes.
From the radio, I knew what was wrong, so I was like, I'm gonna go put on my dirty clothes.
Right, and then you left, and then he was in the middle of the road.
So we swapped in a new parts store axle, and that lasted 7 laps before it had some major binding issues in the outer joint on the right-hand side. So I'm researching Raxles and Drive Shaft Shop, trying to find something that will work. And they both have options. I'm going to call them tomorrow and talking through the choices to find something that's not going to blow up every 7 laps.
So let me do a quick sentence about $500 my ass. We pulled a K-swapped Honda Civic into judging, and we are a highly skilled team. And this is the cheat level is getting just higher and higher. And Steve McDaniels and Eric Rude look at us and they say, "So how many axles are you going to bust this weekend?" And we said, "What silly men you are. We did all of the research. We already did an axle."
And that was before we had driven. Oh, no, we had driven around. Like that, no, that was out at nothing. Yeah.
So they chuckled and laughed and said, "You already did an axle? You'll do more." Oh. They were right.
Yep.
This ain't easy, people. I'm just saying. Not easy.
It ain't easy being cheaty.
It ain't easy being,
True.
Yes.
But now to that end, we were all really excited. And when I say we all, not just the 4 of us, like a whole stack of us, we're all very excited about this car. And it got put on the trailer, and Chrissy was not pleased because she came back from getting cleaned up in the morning, and she brought it in there to the shower. And her initial reaction was way funnier than what I put on the Instagram. So I attempted a reenactment of her initial. And Bill F., of all people, started critiquing my filming skills. And he said, "I know we get a square when you cut Chrissy off during the show, but do we get one when you cut your head off in a video as well? We're still looking to fill the elusive filled grid. It is a beast, most difficult. Hashtag thank you, 3 Pedal Mafia." And Bill got the first ever bingo, and it was the world's most unenthusiastic bingo when he was on our show.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I don't know about this, but it's mine. Jen mentioned poor Chris took them forever to get the car running in first place, and then actual Godzilla comes to yell at him about being broken. Oh, that's me. Oh, thanks, Jen.
Let's talk about the hero, the BMW. One of the most outstanding components was the new tires. Chris, you picked these tires.
Yeah.
Tell us about them.
They're what we run on the front of the Honda, the Hankook RS4. The major tires that they're around, everyone knows the 200 tread version. We get the Zeniths, the RE71s, the Rivals, and then the Z3s. And then you get the ones that were trying to come up there, like the Federals and Nankangs or whatever they are. Anyway, the RE71s are fast, but they do go away. They wear more quickly. Same with the Rivals. They're both more autocross spec tires. The Z3s are kind of in the middle, and these Hankooks, everything I had read was that they grip almost as well, but they last so much longer. And I got to say, I am super impressed with those tires on both the cars this weekend. Like, you look at the ones in the BMW, there's like a little bit of wear, but very little after running hard for 2 days. They communicated really nicely, like you knew when you were getting to the limit.
Absolutely.
It was very progressive. Once they let go, it was very progressive and gentle and very easy to correct and get back. It was really difficult to even get them greasy. Like, you push it really hard, and sometimes you do that a little while, you feel the tires go away, you back off a couple laps, they come back, etc. Never really felt that with these. They were great. I was really impressed all around with the RS4. So there's top consumer advice. Well done.
Woo.
Because Florida man Donnie wants those, because apparently the race Camry ate the R1Rs and slid everyone in the SOs too. So there you are, Dr. Florida man.
Yeah, this is like actual information you can use. So all the Egans out there that are listening because they're friends of ours, we actually gave good advice. If I was a ceramist and I had a multi-car team, I would be ordering a bunch of Hankook RS4s like immediately.
They
should
grip
get
better than
cars.
these Zeniths. Yeah, they grip better than these Zeniths. They last longer than everything else, basically. And yeah, I think it's like the best compromise between all the grip of the RE71s and everything else, and the price is reasonable too. So I'm a fan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have some others. We're doing Stuntin' and Splodin' now. I feel like there was reasonable Stuntin' and Splodin'. No, we didn't know any actual injuries. No endos over mini pit bikes and things like that. There was a lot of zooming around, but
there was definitely a lot of zooming, a lot of like crazy stuff. But our motorized armchair that Giant Dave brought. Too bad it didn't
drive. I was thinking about the shifter cart that you were playing while I was making dinner. You kept saying we should try it, and I was like, I'm busy. So Stuntin' and Splodin'.
I was a little jealous too. I'm sitting there like flipping hamburgers, and Chris is
doing
like
having fun.
Donuts in this little tiny cart thing.
That thing was great. Yeah.
And I almost got the CT running. If anyone wants to see the amazing CT that has been discussed for like the last 6 months, it almost got running. And there's a is it YouTube video? Did you put that on YouTube, Mental?
We did not get a running video on any of our social medias but we did get the brain trust sitting around it.
Okay.
I heard it go vroom a couple times.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about. Should we talk about the Fishers really quick? The Fishers were out in force with our old Ombre and their Mustang, their 2.3 liter Mustang. Did they have a good weekend? Mixed result.
The truck was okay.
Yeah, the Ombre just keeps trucking along.
Yeah, they didn't have any mechanical problems. Did they get a lot of black flags?
Oh my
gosh. Yes,
they did.
All of them. They got all of the black flags, and we loved them, but they did.
Holy
The only thing that happened to the Ombre mechanically was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
So,
did they do a Bob Ross penalty on the side of the well-painted Ombre?
They did. It was
and
beautiful.
Vicky did a beautiful job.
It's like Bob Ross quality.
Actually,
it's so good.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And I heard that. Hold on one second. I heard that they wanted to get out, so they basically did it. They said, okay, you can go, and like it was supposed to be like an hour penalty or whatever. They did it, and they were impressed with them. And they said, okay, fine, you go. And Vicky and Jen, and was like they kept going, and they're like, no, we need this needs a little bit of shadow here, and
we need more happy trees.
And they were like,
It is such a contrast to her when she was trying to get out Sunday morning.
Right?
Driving like 90s in the paddock.
Nothing is going to get through.
Okay, so what else happened to them?
Let's see. They also they had trouble getting the boost set on their Mustang. So team owner Bill decided that he would, since they were not yet through tech, he would drive over to tech on boost without the hood pins.
Well, he didn't know he didn't.
I don't think he decided to do it without the hood pins.
He didn't know he didn't have the hood pins. He just didn't have the hood pins.
So that quality repair that Alan did of expanded metal windshield.
It was all day.
Terrible.
It took them hours and hours, or took him hours and hours to make one, and it was a lot.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I rarely plug their podcast, but definitely go see the Garage Heroes podcast and hear all of the excuses for all of the black flags and all of the tweener stepping, because I'm sure the next episode, that I believe they're recording tonight.
Oh, good.
At the same time as us. They'll see. But anyway.
So on them, we ate really well. They've split the paddock duties with us, and it's awesome. We do half, and they do half, and they come out because I think all of the at least the ladies over in their paddock really like to help. So all of them make a dish, and there was so much. The table was not big enough for how much food we had. So it was just awesome. I really appreciate them. If they listen to our show, I like having them on as additional chef help.
And I want to thank Mental for being a vegan, because that vegan peanut stew is amazing.
So good.
Here's how I suggest
it really is. It's amazing.
Yeah. If you're ever in our paddock and you're like, Jeff invited me for lunch. What should I have? 1 scoop of rice, 1 scoop of vegan stew, and 1 forkful of whatever meat is on the table at that moment. Mix that puppy together with some sriracha sauce. Man, that is the best paddock food I have had in a long time.
Well, and bear in mind that meat may very well be spam, but yes, go for it.
It was some sort of shredded pork like item.
Pulled pork, for lunch. Yes,
yeah, I'm joking. I know what it was.
It was delicious. Anyway, and also on the food note, yes, as we said, my mom made I don't know, about 8 different types of cookies, 2 cakes. Thankfully, she made a breakfast cake because at the last breakfast it was gone before everybody already had some, so they just had cake. So that's cool.
Write this down. Teenagers, extra hungry.
Right. I know it.
Some of those.
The shock of no one.
Oh, they were circling before it was all out.
The 17-year-olds were like,
I smell food. But you know what? As we're talking about the Fishers, though, not just the Fisher children, but also the Danver children, impeccably polite young people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all great group all around. Absolutely.
And as hard as his dad wrenches, Bennett loves to eat. That kid is food motivated.
Well,
he's also about 12 pounds too.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, he needs to stand up.
He was so excited. The Jazzy at the party, like there was like dancing and alcohol and scantily clad women and cars and things, and he was like, oh, I love that motorized chair. I wish I could play in it. I was like, dude, whenever it's open, sit down and drive around. His ass was in that thing for the next 45 minutes. He was like zooming everywhere.
That's what happens when you don't realize what the Jazzy is. You laugh at somebody. We say, "Oh, I have a great Jazzy story." And then I want to talk about the RV. And then we'll be done. The Jazzy, we were trying to put the Jazzy away, and the trailers were too close together. The car was already in. We couldn't put the Jazzy into the car or to the trailer, so we had to use it doing the side door. Trailers were too close, couldn't open the side door. So I said, Eric, drive the Jazzy around the truck and put it in the hallway between the two and just try to see if you can get it in there. So he drives the Jazzy around. So the 2 guys that handle the fueling and they make sure they make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They drive over to our paddock and they stop
work
in
for the
front of
track.
Our car.
I
guess so. Track. They're.
So the 2 guys that do the fueling, that doesn't narrow it down much.
The 2 guys,
marshals.
They were the fire marshals. Like they come over when you're doing fuel pit stops and watch you to make sure that you have your stuff down and you're doing it all right, or they tell the people that to give you a black flag for fuel problems. Okay, so those guys come over and sit in front of the truck, and I can see them like through the windows, and I come over and I say, is everything okay? And they said, yeah, we just want to make sure that he's okay. And so I was like, wait,
who's okay?
No, Eric in the
Jazzy, I know.
Right? And I was like no, he's okay. We just made this because, and I'm like, I'm lost for words. I'm like, so he's not disabled. And so
not
Eric,
the first time
now
anyone had to have that conversation.
Closes the door and he comes over and he stands up and walks over and was like, what's up? And they're like, oh, good.
They're like, we won,
That's exactly what I did.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle in New Jersey.
And of course, Eric's like, I might be disabled in the head, but I can walk. And so they were very nice, and they were like, okay, just make it. They like laughed, and then they drove away. And so I was like, oh.
Brad Brunell also enjoyed the Jazzy. He said he was standing up all day at Radwood selling T-shirts and everything, and just shaking hands because he is the mayor. And he came over. He was talking to us, drinking a beer, and he was like, "Can I sit down on the back of this, like the Scooty?" He was like, "My feet really hurt," and I was like, "Dude, Jazzy." He was very excited.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Lastly, the RV. I wanted your take on. We talked about the RV before. We were saying, okay, we're not sure how it's going to go. I just wanted to give a quick story about the RV experience.
You want me to do it, or you want to?
Yeah, I want you to do it.
It was fun. We bought the cheapest RV that would sleep all of us. So we made a value decision, or I should say I made a value decision because I made it for the team.
It was a good decision.
It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it at all. It was not as ballin' as the Fisher's RV. They had like leather seats in theirs, and I slept just as hard in my bunk as I'm sure they slept in their bunk.
Yeah, it's great. It was a little musty, but the air conditioning worked, and the bed was surprisingly not that bad, and it worked. No problem.
Yeah. And they would have delivered. They just couldn't have delivered on my time frame, so that's why I picked it up.
But it was a good way to go, and we went through the same website as Fisher's did.
Yeah, rvshare.com.
Cool.
Shout out.
Good.
So yeah, hashtag they should totally sponsor us.
Totally
we
sponsor us.
all agree that was, and and same thing in New Hampshire. That the RV rental company up there, they hooked us up years ago. Good company.
Yep.
So if it's an option, if you're thinking hotel off track or RV share, and there's not much price difference, totally go with the RVs.
Absolutely.
Well, the difference is you can pick your RV by price. So if you only have a couple people, get a smaller one. They get cheap. I think our total bill was under $400 for 4 of us for 3 nights.
And we now were taking up all of the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have.
I have one more race result to give, and this is for Chris, and this is for future reference. Oh, he looks excited. His eyes got big. Do you know who came in 5th in the race without looking it up?
No.
I'll give you a hint. Their fastest lap was a 1:23.8, and they drive a 300Z.
Bazinga. I'm guessing.
Yeah, Bazinga. I'm just saying,
Great.
No, not the stock motor.
No.
Not gonna do it.
I'm not saying
Great.
stock
No,
motor.
what do they run? What are they running in the Bazinga?
As far as I know, it is a stock motor.
It's the same Z we have.
Okay, well then we should go over there and say, here's our wiring diagram. Show us where we've gone wrong.
No, I think it's more like, how would you like
harness.
to buy our
Stock motor.
engine?
Of course.
You know you're going to need one of these soon, because I ain't doing it.
All right.
Anyway, we are going to do
We'll make you a deal.
We are going to do Hello Sweet or But Terrible. Hello Sweet but Terrible. We already talked about the 2 crashes. We talked about 2 of the major crashes, I should say. There were more than 2. There's a very strong delineation line. Car 666 in a racing incident rolled. That driver has the ban hammer for an entire year. The orange BMW made the dorkiest, stupidest move on the planet and put some good friends of ours into the wall. But there will be no repercussions because that's racing and that's Lemons. Should Lemons institute some sort of subjective ban hammer? Hella sweet but terrible subjective ban hammer? Open discussion? Go, Chris.
They already kind of do. Especially in the races that are full. The teams that have proven to be not good community members are the ones that aren't going to get accepted. And they naturally works itself out that way. So I have a feeling that we may not see that team, the orange BMW, back, even if they do fix that car, which I think is highly unlikely based on how heavily crashed it was. So I've seen that happen before. They're going to find a way to go to E1R or something. And so and where do you draw the line too? Like, how bad does the move have to be? The rollover rule works and makes sense. And when they instituted it, it dropped some of the really terrible driving down notably. Like, it made a huge difference. And it only gets instituted like once or twice a year, really. It's very rare something rolls. So
it is very rare.
So where do you draw the line? Like, if there were video evidence that someone like on purpose aggressively and really on purpose crashed into somebody and did that like very badly, I have no doubt that they would probably not be allowed back. But where do you draw the line between that and stupidity and gross stupidity? I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm gonna say no like line on ban hammer. It'll sort itself out.
Awesome. Mental, you got a thought on this topic?
I do. So when I went back to Oklahoma after racing with you guys, we started out and we were, I don't want to say an aggressive team because we knew we were going to lose, but we were one of those teams that found ourselves visiting the penalty box a lot. And Lemons has always taken the approach of, rather than hammer and just absolutely punish those that we find unpleasant, let's mentor them. Let's teach them. Let's see if we can make them better. And this is why Lemons has proven to be a great just training ground for a lot of new drivers. And there's some good friends of ours out there. Don Sykes will just go on and on about how dangerous it is, but I don't think it's that dangerous. And I think it's very good because you're running that on strength of personality. So absolute banhammer for aggressive driving, no. But have them have a lot of uncomfortable conversations where Steve McDaniel, and in his very unique way, and Eric Rude and Judge Phil, and then actually all of you guys and Kurt and Kreggers and all the other judges we know are like, look, man, you're doing this wrong. Here's how you start to try and do it right. I think that is a more inclusive attitude. And it's a shame. I'm really upset that the Cheese Bolt Enterprises got crashed, but in a true community fashion, they're going to bring out a bigger and better car. And I think that's what sets this community apart from all the other endurance racers, is they're much more willing to mentor than come crashing down upon aggressiveness.
Search, noob.
I'm pretty sure that the Cheese Bolt's new Ford Focus is the exact same size as the old one, so it's probably not going to be bigger.
Yep.
I'm just messing.
I saw it. They're doing the exact opposite of the Smoky Eunuch, and they're adding 5/8 of a scale to
it. More roof.
Mega focus.
Chrissy, are you with us? You look frozen in my video. I can't tell.
Nope.
I think we're missing Chrissy. Oh.
No. Okay. Don't even try.
Sorry.
Oh, Chrissy, I think they should absolutely hammer everyone. I hate all aggressive drivers. They're not safe. They're evil people.
Well, I agree that no banhammer should happen. Unless somebody was repeat offender, and like Chris says, just don't accept them. Like you can definitely get people out of this series by simply parking their ass, because nothing is worse than being in the paddock, being on a penalty while the race is happening.
And not get people out of the series, but also it gives you an opportunity for people that really do want to stick with this. They'll learn. They'll get it. And then the folks that are just going to be so thick-headed they're not going to get it, that's a great way to get rid of them.
Look, if they can fix the silly nannies, they can fix anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Bingo.
Yeah. All right. Next show promo. We're trying to find some guests. Maybe Florida Man Donnie. Maybe we'll get Kim. I don't know. We'll see. We're talking. We're thinking.
That's
or you just
awesome.
have to listen to our full four of us and be disappointed.
Yeah, we are only a couple shows away from the 100th show. Maybe we should do a clip show with all of our best moments. How about
Nobody got time for that.
How about we ask all of our listeners, Bill, the only one, all of them who have listened since the beginning, Bill, why don't you tell us about all your favorite things that Chrissy's mom, Chrissy's family, and Bill. Tell us what your favorite moments are. Maybe we'll put them together in show 100. But for now, thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It is totally free. Then get yourself to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hate us, give us a 5-star and tell us why, except for Soggy, because eating pork roll is not against the rules in podcast land. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on or Twitter. I didn't know I had a Twitter, at everyone.racers. Thanks again, and until next week, do not roll the car or you will get a banhammer.
All right, we're out.
All right.
So, Jeff, my recording, I bumped a cable and it stopped recording about 12 minutes ago, and I started it up again, but there is a gap in it and I have to put it together. So if you have a recording, which you should stop now, actually, because you're still recording.
Yep, I was trying to figure out stop recording.